Do you hear the call to adventure? Climb aboard or walk the plank. On the high seas, only those with the strength and spirit can survive. What mysteries lie beneath the waves? Treasure? Glory? Time to raise anchor and set sail. These are the tales of the White Springs Revenge.
So you guys are on the beach, which you guys mostly are, because it's mostly just beach, some stone walls, and you're chit-chatting about these logistics, and a crew member, who was one you guys pressed into service from the Navy ships, steps forward.
Oh, hello. Good masters. Please do not draw your weapons. I approach you with humility and in servitude.
Out with it, sailor.
Make them walk the plank.
Please. Being in your service so far seems to be an improvement on my lot. Maybe I could help you in some way?
In what way would that be? We might get hungry later.
What are ye good at?
I will tell you, my lords. My name is Deckard Brodie. I'd like to make a deal.
Ooh, parlay, hey?
You have our attention.
The sailing life doesn't quite suit me so well as it used to. I've seen some horrible things, and I would like to trade you information and, in return, become a steward of your praise amongst the many ports here in the Northern Islands. You see, I happen to know of a certain man who you may want to give your attention to.
Why should we pay attention to any nameless man when a nameless man speaks? Who are ye?
I used to be Happy.
His name is Happy?
No, my name is Brodie. You can call me Brodie, Captain.
You're a captain?
No. I'm sorry. Let me start.
Best be quick with it, boy, because they aren't.
He does a little anxious dance and turns around and is wiping sweat from his face and reapproaches and says, I was on a ship and then terrible things happened. And I know that the man who ruined my life he works for the prince. Are you work for the prince? I assume no.
I spit on the ground. Prince Gloomis.
Yes. A curse on his name. I feel if you were able to paralyze this weapon that Prince Gloomis uses, you would truly start to become a force to be reckoned with, a true uprising against tyranny.
In exchanging for acquiescing your request, we will keep the weapon.
That's one way to look at it, potentially.
Aye, sir. I pulled Marshall aside. Aye, sir. Any weapon could turn the tide of battle into your favor.
Aye, and we be a little low on resources, and any jump on the gun will be in our favor.
It's either we do this or we go talk to that merman again. Are you ready to get wet, sir?
Well then, Brodie, if your words ring true and we can acquire this weapon from the steward of Captain Gloomis, Prince Gloomis, I'm the captain. Then we be amenable to agree to your deal.
Well, that's just it, Cap. This weapon of the prince's is, in fact, a man. But he's not a man. I've heard tales that he is twice as tall as the tallest building, and that he sinks ships with a giant anchor. And if you were able to either persuade him to your side or defeat him or commandeer his ship, which I heard is as large as a city, that would make you the most notable sailor on this whole northern sea.
Can I spout lore on this giant man?
Yeah.
9.
You've heard the sailors mention the phrase Graveslammer, and you didn't quite put it together with anything until this moment.
The Graveslammer.
So you've heard of him?
Only what I've read from the books in my library. Long stolen from me from the prince himself.
Yeah, curse on his name. Spit. Look, I know what he wants, and if I guide you to him and help you with your quest, I just ask freedom from your service, and I will spread your good name among all the ports so that people will sing of, in fact, Captain Whitmore and no longer Rear-Admiral Graveslammer.
Hey, not a bad deal.
Then we must make haste.
I have one more condition. Please do not eat me. Please.
Aye, Brodie. You have our word on that account.
You look a little on the scurvy side anyways. Why don't you grab yourself a mango?
It's uncontrollably shaking. He does, in fact, grab a mango because he very much needs it. He looks around at other crew members in the distance with a feeling of superiority. Like, haha, they're on the menu.
I'm not going to get eaten.
Then attention all crew. Make preparations to set sail. We leave at once. Mr. Whitcomb, don't blow the place down.
He just gives you a nod and like a sour face.
Load a crate of mangoes onto the ship. We best not be getting scurvy now. And I'll spend one of my mango resources instead of trading for income to give us dungeon ration.
I'll say that the mangoes roll some dice to figure out how many people you feed.
Charisma?
Sure. You did yell at the other people to do it.
I rolled a 10, so 12.
You get a full rack of rations.
Aye, Brodie, what food do ye have in ye pockets?
He turns out his pockets, and it's 3 dead cockroaches and a dead mouse.
Well, give yourself 5 dungeon ration.
Oh,
Aye, Brody, this crew be no prey, no pay. Remember that.
so generous of you. Thank you, Captain.
Captain, we're just going after this crazy giant?
You got something better to do,
Aye,
Mr.
get under the way, anchor,
Pilo.
and hoist the mizzen.
All right, I guess you're going after Never mind. All right.
I can see your trepidation, Elo, but without you, we'll be helpless. As it pains me to say it, you're more powerful than the rest of us with your magic-y didgeridoo-iness. I have witnessed the power of your language. May we slay the beast? Perhaps. But if he could be persuaded to fight for us, now that would be a powerful ally indeed.
You guys set sail. Where are they going?
Yes, well, the last I heard, the Admiral's ship was headed north to Prismont. Something about recovering or stealing a relic or an ancient sacred artifact.
Yeah, my ears perk up. I'm like,
And you best not be running a rig on us, boy, or you'll be shark bait soon.
Oh no, there's nothing in it for me, please. I just want my freedom.
We will fillet your skin and start at your toes and eat our way up while you are still kicking.
Not again. You look down, he's missing 3 or 4 toes.
I turn Bori. You sure I'm not laying it on a little too thick? I mean, what if the crew loses respect for me if they think I'm some sort of cannibal?
Oh, no. You're doing a fine job, sir. Fine job. I mean, stay 3.
Oh, let that go for the rest of you. We will eat you if you betray us.
Totally.
The crew is weirded out or skeezed out by this, but goes back to what they're doing. Like, some of them are like, they're just goofing. Like, he's a good guy. The helmsman sets heading towards Prismont as the sails unfurl. Let us do a perilous journey. Only 3 of you need to roll. It is wisdom-based. The rolls are Scout, Trailblazer, and Quartermaster.
You be the scout.
Oh, are you sure? Okay.
Because you know where we're going.
Yeah.
I'll trailblaze.
I got a 10.
Great. 10 for the food. How did the trailblazing go?
12.
What about the scouting?
Mixed result.
You guys are sailing out of these waters. In some of these narrow straits are between the islands. You spot 2 smaller, hostile pirate ships. You've seen these guys around if you sail these waters. A small, active pirate group. Their ships are smaller than yours. You guys kind of are at an even point, though. You see each other at the same instance. Brodie sees them.
People. Oh God, there's people.
Run a shot across the bow.
Yeah.
Roll 2d6 for the ship.
Aye, she be my ship, and I rolled a 9.
Fire across the bow, open fire back, but you're a little bit outside of their range, and they start to try to turn in against you.
Aye, they're not scared. What are your orders, Captain?
Full sail ahead.
Okay, so you're going to try to outrun them. Roll for the ship again.
5.
You get fired at, and the 2 ships get on either side of your ship and fire and rake across the deck of your ship. So everybody on the deck, which is all of you, needs to make a Defy Danger roll.
I'm going to use Defy Danger Strength, and I'm going to grab one of the ropes and pull myself up to get out of the way of the shrapnel. So that's a 9.
So you climb up this rope, and you don't get hit by the shrapnel, but then the rope does and gets split, and you fall back onto the deck under your back.
Ooh.
I rolled double 6s, so I was using my cons. I put on a really tough face. Yar, we can take them, but then I just cower behind my retainers, like, ah! As they block the shrapnel from hitting me.
Okay, yeah, so the shrapnel blasts around you as you cower behind your retainers. What did the other guys get?
I got a 7 using Dex. So I tried to duck under the crow's nest.
You're up above everything. You duck, and shards of wood and shrapnel like pierce the sides of the crow's nest, and you like cower in the middle of it, but you manage to escape danger. What do you do, Elo?
So I use Dex as well, and because I was walking around the ship, so I'm gonna just use human shields, just jump behind people.
Okay, what'd you get on your roll?
I got an 8.
You also sacrifice a crew member to cannon fire from the other ship. So if you'd like to command your crew, you can do that, as well as it's your guys' turn.
Are we shooting or are we running, Captain?
Maintain course.
We're running fast.
7.
So you guys are faster. Your ship is longer and it is faster, but you are slowly pacing them away. Not fast enough to get out of the range of cannon fire. What are you guys doing on your turns?
Firing back. I'm with the cannon crew in the
Okay,
mid.
all right,
Firing
roll.
back. 11.
That cannons in that line go off and they blast through the smaller ship, and it takes a shitload of damage. It probably kills the helmsman because that ship immediately starts to roll to the left off course and runs aground into the side of the island to your guys' left.
Mr.
How you
Helmsman,
doing, boys?
drop anchor, spin 180.
The helmsman is like terrified as you say that. What are other people doing on the ship? What is Deckard?
I'll spend my turn getting down from the crow's nest, not gracefully, grasping the mast as I lower myself down.
Roll dex.
8.
You are very tentative and only make it halfway down the mast. You're doing it safely, but you're doing it very slow. Pilo.
Can I shoot my arrow? I'm just gonna start shooting some arrows. 7.
So you got to choose one of the things from the volley list. Do you want to do less damage? Do you want to put yourself in a spot, or do you want to spend an ammo?
I'll just do less damage.
Okay, roll your damage and then roll a d4 and subtract the d4 from your damage.
So I got a 4 and I got a 2. Gave him 2 damage.
Your arrow shoots over, hits someone on the deck, and they go, ow! The enemy ship is going to try and fire again. So I want everybody to make a defy danger as more cannon fire is coming over the side of your ship from the right side.
You see Captain Whitmore at the helm, furiously giving his commands, and then comes the fire shots. 9.
Some more of your crew around you are killed by this cannon.
I rolled a 4 mid-mast.
The cannons fire, and they don't hit you at all. You just let go out of terror, and you fall through where the hole is to load shit into the lower decks, and the netting just happened to be open, like that's supposed to catch people, and you fall through to the lower decks of the ship and hit hard upon the crate full of mangoes. It's a hard fall. You're gonna take 5 damage from it. You guys just see this guy go, "Oh, no!"
As I see this guy tumble past me, I use my strength and brace myself onto one of the cannons that were firing, and I get a 9.
You brace yours, but some of the cannons move and crush some of the men down there with you, like their hands and feet get crushed. You lose a few gunners on that deck to injury. What is up with Pilo?
So I just agility out again. Can I just say like I jump behind a barrel or something? I got 12.
Okay, so you hide behind barrels and don't take any damage. The crewmen that rally on the deck at the commands of Captain Whitmore, he releases the anchor and lets it drop hard. And after that cannon fire, you guys feel the boom, and everybody on the deck rolls forward, and the ship hooks hard and yanks the ship, turning it into
Starboard?
cut off the enemy ship. And the cannons line up to fire. You swing in front of the ship and the cannons fire, and they break it in half as they rake across its midsection. And this combat is concluded.
I'm gonna dex to the bow of the ship and stand ominously and threateningly and leer at the other ship in the Captain Morgan pose.
So I'm going to look down the hole at Brodie. What are you doing laying down? We've been fighting this whole time.
Wiping mango pulp out of my eyes while I'm also crying. I'm sorry, sir.
Get up, let's start cleaning the deck.
As I make it back to the deck, can I try to tend to some of the wounds of the crushed hands men? Try to get some of our numbers back? Oh, yeah. That's a 9. A 9 for arcane art to heal.
What does it say under arcane art? You gotta read it to me.
I can weave a performance into a basic spell to heal 1d8 damage. Can I, on a mixed result, the spell still works, but I either draw unwanted attention or my magic reverberates to other targets affecting them as well, or GM's choice. This shaking young man man. He can't be older than 19. Puts what looks like a whistle in his mouth, and he's blowing into it, and it's a kazoo, essentially. And he does this awkward little jig to try to inspire. And the wind kind of blows up, and like the sea mist starts to curl around the sailors.
You do this, you heal this man's hands. The bones kind of snap back into position, and the skin starts to wrap around, and he's amazed by it. How did you do that?
Well,
That was amazing.
you shared your moldy bread with me last week, so just
He gives you a huge hug. He like just grabs you around. This one's a miracle worker, boys! And like all the men down there in the cannon section are like all super hyped up now.
Maybe you've got some usefulness after all, boy.
Hey, let me see that thing.
this.
Yeah.
He takes his whistle and gives it to Elo Pilo.
Can I try to blow it?
Yeah.
What is it? What do I use?
I think you use your lips.
It's like a performance.
So I got an 8.
Blow out like one of the simple sailing tunes, and then nothing in particular happens. It sounds nice, reasonably nice.
Brody is pretty enthused and starts to jig a little bit to your play. Your biggest fan.
I'm looking at you two playing with the whistle like, I'll go see the captain.
As people are like drowning outside of our
And the captain's been staring out at the sinking ship this whole time, and he hears all this jeering in the background, but he thinks it's for him. Wow, yeah, everybody's super psyched. I did some real good captaining.
Yeah.
Sorry, Captain. I knew you wanted to collect some ships, but my boys hit that last one really hard.
Or perhaps there's something to be salvaged. And I shout out to any drowning men in the crew, and I'm gonna try and recruit them.
Why don't we launch the little boats?
If any ye wayward souls come sail under the flag of Captain Whitmore, ye be treated fairly. But if ye choose not to, then you're on your own. The choice is yours.
Everybody that's in the water is just yelling, "Help! Yes, help! Yeah, help us!"
Come aboard!
So we're gonna order the crew to launch the scuttle boats.
And throw some ropes over the sides.
You send out men and they collect sailors. These men are pirates, so they're a little easier to push into. They like signed up for this a little more than the Navy folks you may have pressed into before. Probably some of them served on many ships. Some of them may have served under your command already and just left and ended up in the Mango and then ended up on a port and then ended up on another pirate ship. So these guys are just, we know how to ship, and they jump right in, cleaning shit up and fixing your boat.
I'm gonna ask one of them, who here be the head gunner of that last vessel?
Think you may have took his head off with that last salvo there, Captain. I don't believe he's made it. Was a Captain Blueneck.
I look over at one of my crew members that has like a cannonball in his chest and like lying dead on the ground. I just wanted to congratulate him on a fine shot. 'Tis a shame. A shame indeed. Could have used a man like that on my crew.
I think Charlie there took him out.
Aye, Charlie. Ye be promoted to head gunner.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Captain. Thank you.
See to it, Charlie gets a not stale piece of bread tonight.
That would be an honor, Captain. Thank you so much. I'll go whip the men into shape on the cannons right now. We'll get cleaning them right now. So you gather mostly men as that ship broke in half and sank into the ocean. But you kind of restore your crew from that salvage. And we continue. It's a 2-day sail.
The fish while we're sailing. Oh, no, it does not go well. 2-1.
They're not biting, Captain.
Watch ye bucket of bait. It's awfully close to the edge.
I may have lost an entire bucket of bait.
Yeah, I'm going to charge you 3 bait. I think you just lost it. Some shark came off and ate half of it off your lure and took the end of your line. But you guys do get there in a day and a half, so you only need to spend 1 ration per person because of your excellent seamanship. Okay. As you get toward Prismont, Deckard, you guide the helmsman around the eastern portion of the island, towards the northeastern portion of the island. And as you guys start to come around, you see off in the distance, because it's so huge, the massive docked galleon of Rear-Admiral Graveslammer.
That'd be a gigantic ship.
I told you, almost as big as a city.
It is like as close to the shore as it can get. It's clearly like sent small boats to have crews investigate the island. They're searching for that relic. They don't see you though. You're a ways out and you're kind of using the island as cover. What do you want to do?
What do you think we should do, Captain?
Me? I was hoping you would know what to do.
Well, we've got a couple options. We can fire on them right now and see how well their retainer crew is versus
I
us.
trust your wisdom, Broly.
Or we could, option 2, we send some of us and we go out and try to sneak onto that ship and see if we can take it.
Espionage, eh?
Why part of the crew is out onto the island, we could do that. But if we alert too much suspicion, they'll draw the rest of the crew back and we'll be double fucked, as they say.
Perhaps we find a bay and make port.
You guys can kind of come around the island away where they don't have line of sight on you. Set anchor and then small boat your way onto the island like they're doing. Scuttle boat. Who all's going onto the island?
Well, obviously, I think the captain will.
Yeah, I'll leave one of my retainers on the ship.
Could you send one of your hirelings and a crew of like 5 to go like sneak on that ship?
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, how about I send those 2 and a crew of 3 to go get intel?
You send some of your sneaky boys to go get intel on the ship, and you guys are doing what?
We hide ourselves from the Admiral and his big-ass ship, and we just make a little base camp, try to figure out about these lands, get intel, and also find this weapon. Then I'll command crew, make provisions and arm yourselves ready for a fight. And be ready at a moment's notice to be called to your captain's command.
Okay, so they set up like a little base camp and ready their weapons, check out the trees for hiding in the trees, and they are readying themselves. What do you guys specifically do?
Can I use Bardic lore? My specialty for Bardic lore is grand histories of the known world. And on my first encounter with an important location, I can ask the GM any one question about it, and the GM will answer truthfully. You then may ask what tale, song, or legend I heard that information there. Do I know what the relic is that the Rear-Admiral has been sent to locate here on Prismont?
If that's you're using your power to ask.
Yeah, why are they here? What are they here for?
So they're here for a weapon called the Singing Blade. It is supposed to be a great sword of lore that many a famous commander and warrior princes and whatnot have wielded over the eras, and is supposed to lead any man to battle, and is supposed to make you undefeatable in melee combat. There's other crazy stories of it, like doing other things, like quaking the earth, but it's all in stories, so you're not sure what is true.
That's the life of a bard. So while the higher-ups are having these logistical conversations, Deckard is recalling this tune that he remembers about the Singing Blade and kind of singing it softly to himself and the crew around that will hear.
The scouts come back and they say, Captain, so it looks like men are being spread out and they're systematically searching from the northern side of the island and working their way down. They're looking for some sort of cave or entrance or something of that nature. The ship still seems well defended. It would be hard to get aboard that ship without being seen. There still seems to be many men on board, and once you get up close to it, Captain, it is massive. There's must be hundreds and hundreds of men that could potentially be a crew of that ship.
A ship that size couldn't be that maneuverable, would it?
No, Captain, most certainly not. But its height and its massive guns does give it a significant range.
Aye, then you and Mr. Gunner take a small batch of crew and make it back to the ship. And you tell Mr. Helmsman and Mr. Quartermaster that I want them to fire across the bow, and then make haste. And once you've lost your tail, return here. Pick us up.
Aye, Captain. And then he runs off back towards the White Springs River. What do you guys do? You going looking for this relic?
So after I do that, I turn to Brodie. They be scouring the north of these islands. Do you have any idea where you're going now, boy?
Well, I do remember the legend, right, of the singing blade, singing sword, what's it called?
You're supposed to be telling me, boy, and you don't know what it's called?
Yes, Captain. I would recommend if we did start at the opposite end of the island, they'll reach the caves on the southern shore last. And if we happen to find what they want first, well, then lucky us. Huh?
We're gonna be
lucky
needing more
indeed.
than luck to get out of this ocean.
Can there be something that I know about my relic and my temple that could be helpful here? I got an 8.
You think like about how your township like hid its relic sort of in plain sight, and that it could be a cave, yeah, but you get the feeling there's probably a trick to it.
So there's probably a trick to it.
Yeah.
I explained this to the captain. It's not going to be in the caves, Captain. They're not going to hide it. They're going to hide it in plain sight so anyone could just walk right past it.
I mean, a cave is where I would hide me booty, and you're saying it wouldn't be in a cave. Can I spout lore on Pilo's peoples? Like, I want to know about the culture.
Okay.
For the culture. That's a 6. The bard want to roll some aid?
I'd love to.
Do you have any bonds with this captain? Write some bonds with some people.
I'm going to write that Deckard Brodie reminds me of myself when I was younger, because I feel like Captain Marshall had to grow up really fast being not a noble anymore. I've been a freelance pirate for a short amount of time, and I've had Mr. Bori around to pick up most of my mannerisms, but I'm sure I was just a lost young lamb, like young Brodie.
I sang stories of Captain Whitmore long before I ever met them in person.
'Tis be a family name.
What was that roll for again?
To know about Ilo Pilo's tribe and his culture.
So Ilo Pilo is from they're elves, that kind of secluded region of probably one of these main islands. What kind of place is it? Is it woodland? Is it grasslands? What was it?
Yeah, it was woodland.
And
yeah.
they were reclusive, and they protected this artifact, and they had like a very specific religion that was very private, and that religion was based around the studying of this artifact.
I ran away from all that shit.
Did you tell him what happened?
What happened to me was like I ran away, I came back, and my whole family, everyone was dead.
Blast
Relic was
Gloomis
gone.
curses upon his name.
And it had been like months or whatever. Like everything was just fucked up. The survivors that I found, or the people that came back, told me that it was the prince that did it. Stole our relic, took my sister. So our temple was located underneath the village, and it was accessed by well.
Then search for the nearest stream, for civilization gravitates towards the water. 8.
You guys scout out with your men. You follow along the south, and you follow along the rivers. Captain, you're walking by like a stone face, and you come across, it's like near where water is trickling down the rock. And there's markings kind of etched into it that you can't quite piece together.
Aye,
Seems a
Bori,
little out of place.
you ever seen scripts such as this on your adventures? Surely your traveled elderly eyes have seen many oddities.
Let's try to discern some realities. Ooh, this brain is old. 6.
Mark experience. As you're standing at this, 2 men come around the corner dressed in the Navy's uniforms that are clearly some of the Admiral's men. And one of them stops and says, "Hey, you there! Who are you?"
Who am I? We be the crew of the White Springs Revenge.
The White Springs Revenge? You're criminals!
Now heal yourself before Captain Whitmore, or die like a dog. Draw my sword, and I point it at them, but I'm shaking a little bit. 11.
They turn and run.
I shoot my flintlock.
You just hit a tree.
I turn to the small crew that we brought with us, and I say, guard our perimeter as we sweep the area. Make sure no one makes a jump on us.
We didn't stop those guys, right?
I'll chase it after him. I'm intrigued by this face in the wall. This is the first time Captain Whitmore has ever seen anything outside of a book with his aristocracy, so this is jungle people shit. What savages, yet it's so elegant.
I got a question. If I'm trying to recognize the ancient language, use my charisma roll, since that's what I use to speak the ancient language. So do I recognize the writing?
You roll.
11.
So you look at it, it's not an alphabet. It's some kind of pictograph. And you guys see what I'm drawing on the map?
With the YMCA.
Literally, yes, that does spell out YMCA.
Do you do the YMCA like that in front of the...
Yeah.
So then the wall opens.
Hold up,
And snaps back.
Hold up. So I do this little old, it snaps in my brain, my little old man brain, and I put my arms up, I put my arms down.
And then the door opens and pushes back, and it goes underground and into the rocks.
I told you I wouldn't let you down, Captain.
So you guys enter into this room.
So I'm gonna take my retainers, but I'm gonna leave the rest of the crew outside the entrance.
Aye, Captain. Good luck down there.
Aye, boy, you be coming with us. If we are to die in here, so are you.
Oh, God.
We wouldn't want to think you're hornswoggling us, boy.
Oh, God. He makes the sound of a deflating balloon as he just crumples and like follows along behind you like a small goblin.
You guys follow into a tight corridor that opens up as it gets deeper underground. And it is a room carved out of the stone and in a rounded shape. And at the opposite end of the room of the stairs you come down on, there is a big stone door with a big face carved into. What do you guys want to do?
Another face, Captain.
I do the YMCA.
In front of the door?
Yeah.
Door-
This worked when you did it. There's
The
got to be something to
doors-
it.
The door's eyes look at you, and then they roll.
Does this face have an expression? Like, is there an emotional element to what this face is telling us?
When he spoke, the face changed, and he rolled his eyes like a teenager.
I am going to ask the door to open in the ancient language.
And then the door looks impressed and looks at you and says, "You speak the ancient language. Well, that is quite impressive. Oh, I thought you were just some other idiots who figured out that little dance that my forefathers put on here and thought was safe."
Cut to Marshall still doing it.
You've never been to a Tonaliki fiesta.
I have unfortunately been stuck in this cave, so I cannot say that I have. But perhaps you will be able to answer my riddles. And if you do, I shall open.
Bring
Do
'em
you
on.
want me to open for you?
Yes. Open up.
The first riddle. Dave's parents have 3 sons, Snap, Crackle, and what's the name of the third son?
The poppin'.
Would you like me to repeat the riddle?
It's Dave.
Yeah.
Dave is the answer.
Yes. Dave, this one has knowledge, and this one speaks the tongues. Perhaps you are wiser than I once suspected. Perhaps I should choose a harder riddle.
Wait, how many sons does Steve have?
Wait, where's Dave at?
I am tall when I am young, and I am short when I am old. What am
Candle.
I?
You're a candle.
This one knows of the tales. These used to stump the simple folk for hours.
I was gonna say a Cornish imp.
Who are you guys talking to?
All right. One more and then I'll open for you. What goes up and down but doesn't move?
I think I know this one.
Yes? Surly one, what is it? Oh, you were so quick with the other two. Have I
Give us some-
stumped you?
Give us some time. We'll figure it out.
Oh, stairs.
Yes. This one's
Deckard.
pretty good. And the door starts to open its mouth wider and wider and says, "Good luck on the next puzzle." And then its mouth like opens until its mouth is the entire doorway.
Ah, I must have gotten the movements right this time.
Are these doors closing behind us as we're going through, or are they staying open?
They're open. You get into the next room, and in this room, there is in the center of the room a statue carved of stone, a strong warrior, and they are facing you as you enter. And it's like an impressive statue. It's pretty tall, but not that big. On the other side of the room, there is another door. This one is just stone, and it's sealed, hard sealed. And then on the 2 sides of the room, there are 2 carvings that have been painted on that are just made out of the stone wall. What do you do?
I'm going to go to examine the painting.
Which one? The one on the left or the one on the right?
One on the left?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Walk-
gonna discern realities.
You're going to discern realities? Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you roll to investigate the painting?
What is it? What's it depicting?
Roll wisdom.
Either way, I failed.
Mark experience. You hear what sounds like swords clashing from
Above.
several rooms away and above. Yeah. The faint sound of the sound of fighting goes eerily quiet.
Ooh,
Our guys won.
What are other people in this room doing? Other feeling?
funny. I don't hear our signature cheer.
Aye, when the battle be won by our crew, there's always a jaunty jig. Where is the jaunty jig?
I play a jaunty jig.
Aye, then we had won the battle. And I just want to look around the room for something valuable. Just something base valuable that I can take.
Okay.
9.
9. You find a gemstone in the foot of the statue.
Woohoo!
Can I investigate the statues in such a way where I'm putting my hands on them and acting as if anything could be a lever? I do that with a 9.
You reach up and you kind of touch it, and then you like yank hard on the arm or something, like you're trying to pull a lever, and it moves. And at first you think you're pulling it down, and then you realize the whole statue's animating, and it kind of lightly shoves you off, and then like stands there, freezes solid.
Go, I pee a little.
You're gonna want to tighten up that consonants, boy.
What are other people doing?
Pulling out my sword at this abomination.
Try to talk to it and ask it, how do we get past this room?
So it does not seem to respond to any verbal commands, even the ancient language. It seems to be again frozen as a statue.
I come over, swinging my sword on my finger really haphazardly, and then I'm using it to point on things. I'm like, look at this here, and I want to point at the painting, and I'm gonna scratch it with my sword.
You scratch at some of the painting, and some of the paint comes off, and nothing happens.
Tell me, Mr. Jeb, are you an artist? Do you like to draw? What are your hobbies?
I've done a little art in my day.
You think you could copy down a masterpiece such as this?
He looks at it and he's like, I could do a rough sketch of it.
Then do it.
He pulls out a thing and starts sketching one of the paintings.
So I want to assign him a skill point of scribing. Copy down things that we've seen. So maybe copy down the YMCA symbol.
Roll +1 for him to do a good job on.
8.
He does a decent job. Doesn't have the artist's touch that did this, but it is a clear representation of what the picture was.
Can you briefly describe what the paintings look like?
No one's actually successfully looked at them.
I want to look. What am I looking at?
My eyes have so much sea salt in them.
It's really dark in here, guys.
Roll wisdom at it. That's a 10. So you look at one, and one is clearly like a keep built on a rock face. On the keep, battlements and those sniper holes, and there is a closed drawbridge gate, portcullis entry thing all closed up, and that's the picture on one side. You turn to the other side, and it is a cottage, flowers out in front of the cottage, and it's got a little hay roof. The door's open, and you can see into the cottage, and you can see a lantern on a table like lighting up the cottage.
And then the statue's just a soldier?
More like Bartney than that. Loincloth, rippling chest, Greek statue vibes.
One's closed and one's open. So there's a soldier and there's nothing else in the room besides the statue. I'll look at the door with my wisdom. 10.
You look at the door. In the stonework, there are two unusual seams that come from the door you're trying to open that lead over to the two paintings going away from the door. One to the right, one to the left. One to the keep, one to the cottage.
Can we move the statues?
Aye, everybody, hands on the statue and heave.
You're just pushing it towards
the cottage.
Everybody roll strength. And then also roll charisma for your retainers. Deckard gets in the leverage part and pushes hard. And as you start to push the statue, it reanimates for a second and takes an awkward step towards the cottage painting and looks back at you guys, annoyed, and brings up its hand and swings. Everyone roll Defy Danger. So the arm swings. Deckard, you lean back right at the right moment. As the fingers whiff right past your face, you hear whoof. And then the statue turns back around and crosses its arms back into its pose and freezes solid. And it is facing the cottage, and the door goes and opens up.
I hug the statue from behind.
Immediately see in the next room, like before you're even in there, there is this crystal blue light like bathing the room, spilling out into the room. What do you do?
Ooh. We start walking towards it.
I will take first steps into the unknown, for I am the captain.
All right, so you guys go in first, and Bori said he was going to, so you three walk in first. And this chamber is being lit up by this pedestal in the middle, stone coming up, but then it's been sliced in half, and it's actually a geode with all these glowing crystals. And in the middle of the geode is a very large sword made of blue crystal, and the geode and the sword are all like shining with this brilliant light.
Wow. Bask in awe. That's what I do.
As you bask in awe, you hear footsteps from someone coming through the chambers that you have previously. There are a few rooms back, but you hear them.
Hide along the doorway and let's make a jump on them.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
All right, then
Yeah,
everybody's
but
got to roll to hide.
I'm not doing that. As soon as I see the sword, I don't even like draw. I'm just like drawn to it.
Yeah.
I just immediately go to grab it.
Mr. Pilo, to arms!
Yeah, I'm not even
Well-
listening. I'm not even listening. I can't even like. They're not even there in my head.
Roll strength to yank it free from its pedestal in the geo.
Oh, that is a fail.
You go to yank, and right as you like flex your muscles, you are struck by a crossbow bolt, rather, from first one of the Navy men to get to the doorway, and he doesn't pass in the doorway, so you guys hiding don't see him yet, and he fires a bolt and hits you. You're going to take 1 damage. What did other people do to hide? Roll to hide. 10.
I rolled an 11.
7.
So you guys all hide. That bolt flies through, and then 3 more men with swords come into the room. What do you guys do in your moments of reaction?
I want to stand in defense of the door with
Okay.
Jeb.
All right, so you get all the hold for that. What do you other guys do?
I'll take the first neck that walks through the door. My whistle doubles as a blowgun dart at the first guy who walks through with an 8 for 4 damage.
It catches the guy in the neck, and he grabs his neck, and yells out.
I'm gonna slap somebody with a flintlock shot. 10.
Roll your damage.
7.
You come out, pop out, and fire, and it catches one guy in the chest, and he grabs his chest and then falls over to the floor. It also makes a very loud boom that startles everybody in the room. Then, in defense of the door, there's 2 guys about to unleash attacks. There is 1 range attacker, so he's going to fire his crossbow bolt. He's going to fire it at the old man with the flintlock pistol. It's a defy danger to
12, because I'm gonna use my dexterity to dodge.
so you duck as a bolt whizzes past your head.
And so in retaliation for that, I'm going to spend a hold and pull out my flintlock pistol and fire at him and deal damage equal to my level. I give him 2 damage.
You wing the crossbowman in the leg with your flintlock. And then while you do that, one guy's going to attack you with a sword attack.
Well, I'll spend another hold and open him up to +1 forward. I parry his wrist by the sword and I kind of like make him stumble, pushing his sword out of the way with mine.
You deflect his attack and kind of throw his weight off and open him up for one of your allies. And then it's your guys' turn. So what do you guys? If you try to attack that one guy, you get a +1 to hit. What do people want to do?
I'll shoot my flintlock again.
Okay,
5.
so +1 against that guy. If you choose that guy, doesn't help you. You go to fire and it backfires and it explodes in your hand. And your flintlock is destroyed until you can get somebody to repair.
So I'm gonna yell at the one guy with no damage to stand still.
Okay, roll.
I got a 7, so I only get to do 2 tags. So I'll do. So it doesn't overwhelm me. I'll weave a complex order and choose 2. So I'll have them also drop what they're holding.
So that person drops their sword as the didgeridoo sound starts to fill the cavern, and they freeze solid.
I'll take the chance because there's someone who's made it slightly more vulnerable, right? Who I can see.
Yeah, there's kind of 2 people now because there's
Not the person that was frozen by the didgeridoo, but the other guy. I'll blow another dart. 7. I'll put myself in danger.
roll me a defy danger. The crossbow bolt was shot at.
11.
No problem there. Roll your damage on that guy you're shooting.
6.
That guy, you fire the dart and it takes him out. He hits him and he grabs his neck and looks at his hand and then falls back unconscious.
I apologize.
The person with the crossbow, she yells out, "When the Admiral hears about this, you all be hunted like dogs!" And then the remaining people who are still alive run away from him.
Can I grab the frozen guy and as he's coming to? I'll spend a adventuring gear and dexterity on some hostage tying up rope. 8.
It's holding for now. They come to and they're like, what happened?
Greater things than you will ever know.
Did I get captured? God damn it!
Yeah, you kinda suck at this old soldier thing. Have ye perhaps thought about being a pirate?
Roll charisma. He spits in your face and says, "I've fought alongside the Admiral for years. You've never met anyone so brave and so dangerous at the same time. Such a keen tactical mind. You're as good as dead already standing.
Hey, this
I don't
admiral
think
sounds
you
like a
enjoy
worthy
this.
foe.
It is you who is not worthy as a foe."
Oh, I was gonna say he's worthy of shark bait, eh, Captain?
How many buckets of bait do you think your body will make, boy?
I'll see you in Davy Jones' locker when the Admiral sends you down there to meet.
He got you
What?
there, man. I mean, you gotta let him have the last word. Come on.
What do I do with him now?
Maybe we capture and torture him for information. Bring him aboard.
Starting to like the cut of your jib.
You know, if you pull a toenail off a man, they really start to talk.
Oh, I start pulling off the captive's shoe. Oh, these little things. Pulling on it, investigating his foot. He tells me that I need to pull these off of you to get you to talk.
What do you want to know?
Tell me everything you know about this Admiral. How's crew morale? Because it's got to be pretty good. You got benefits?
Do you know that Admiral Graveslammer got that name for being the greatest gladiator in the King's Colosseum?
Being able to fight in that dog ring don't make ye any bit of a man. Be the sea that test your might.
As he had defeated everyone worth fighting in the realm, the king gave him command of the smallest ship in the Navy. With no orders, it was a retirement job so that this champion could live out on a government pay. You know what he did? He made it the single most victorious ship the Crown's Navy has ever seen. A schooner! And now he is risen to Rear Admiral. Morale is amazing. He is amazing. You are already dead.
Aye, Captain, it sounds like we ought to cleave him to the brisket.
Listen, son, this guy really wants to eat you. And I've been playing along for now, but I am not sure I'm too comfortable with this cannibalism thing. But if you don't give me something, I'm gonna have to let him eat you.
No knowledge I have will give you a fighting chance against.
Sure. I conk him with the butt of my cutlass.
He just falls unconscious.
I am sworn an oath to protect these lands. Can I get a yarg?
Yarr! Are you still drawn to this sword that's glowing?
Oh yeah, I'm going for it again.
Roll some strength on it. 10?
Yeah.
You grab the sword and you yank it free. And as you yank it free, it vibrates from the pull. And when it does that, you see it is a giant crystal blade of a greatsword. And it hums, maintains the frequency like a tuning fork. As you pull it out.
That's it. That's what he's here for.
I say dibs and I just put it in my sword holster.
It is massive. It's like you have to strap it to your back. It's a big old greatsword.
Is that all the treasure there?
You could look around.
To 6.
One of your men appears in the doorway and says, Captain, they found our camp. They're attacking. We need to get the hell out of here.
Make haste. Just start jogging out.
Start Scooby-Doo running. We start Scooby-Doo running.
Yeah.
You guys Scooby-Doo run out of the caverns and back over to the camp. And at the camp, you see your men are trying to hold the line to stop these men from getting to the ship, but they're outnumbered. And standing in the back of this wave of guys that outnumbers you guys like 2 to 1, you see him. He stands 7.5 feet tall, pale-skinned giant of a man, half giant, literally half giant. And he has strapped to his back an anchor of a ship and the chain like wraps around his arms. And he's barking orders at his men as his massive voice bellows out over the battlefield. You guys are sort of coming to the side of this. So you have a clean run back. Your men are holding the line in a way that provides you an exit to the ship.
I turn to Mr. Jeb and I say, Jeb, get the rest of my men and tell them to rally around me and grab some of the crew and point a cannon down into the battlefield. Run! Yeah.
Okay. So he says, yes, Captain, and runs to the ship. What are you guys doing?
Fuck it. I'm going to scream across the battlefield at the Admiral for him to go away. And that is going to be a 10.
So as your spoken waves reach out and hit him, you see a necklace around his neck, ping, like a purple color, and suddenly your magical effect is immediately dissipated. And he looks across the battlefield to find the source of this magic and makes eye contact.
Okay, can I say something though? Because in the description of my power, it says specifically that it's not magic, that it's just unconscious response to hearing the ancient language. It says it might seem magical when witnessing the effect on sentient creatures, but it is not. The power is rooted in exploiting the brain's psychology or psychology, and then you choose 3 of the. So it's not magic.
That's what the rules say. You got me. Absolutely. What is you need to do with your full success?
So I'll do, it doesn't overwhelm me. He can hear me clearly across the battlefield, and I'll do an extension on it. I'm saying, go away.
He hears that, and it gives him pause, and he just turns around and starts walking away from the battlefield. But his men are still fight on, having just received orders.
I shout out, "Look at the great Rear-Admiral turning coattail against the likes of Captain Whitmore and the crew of the White Springs Revenge."
Roll a charisma.
13.
Look at this coward.
They don't retreat or anything, but they do kind of pull back their advance, like, oh, where's he going? He must be going somewhere for a good reason. He wouldn't just leave us. Gives them pause, so your men aren't being quite so overwhelmed.
I'll take that opportunity, make my way away from the leading party towards the common sailor at the front line, and as I'm approaching, blow a whistle dart.
Okay.
Oh no, that's a 6.
From our experience, you fire out at one of them, and they realize they're in a life or death battle, and they rally and they charge again at the captain's men and start to overwhelm.
My flintlock's broken. I don't really have anything ranged.
I toss him my flintlock.
12.
Roll your damage.
6.
You wing one right in the dome, and that sailor goes down. You're a crack shot with this.
Great shot, Mr. Brodie.
I think that even rallies the men a little. The fact that you're kind of being that old man badass flavor that everyone loves about you, it spurs your men on, even though they're in a difficult situation. So your allies are coming from the ship. What's left of the crew starts marching up from the ship to your location. And your retainer looks at you and says, I have returned with them. Ship is positioning cannons to fire at this hill. On your command, sir. And he holds up like a lantern or something, or a flag. It's probably a flag. It states it as like a signal flag.
Then I will stand in defense of the beachhead and move our men out of position. And when I give you the signal, give the signal.
Aye, Captain.
The signal is, shoot the cannons now, right now. Shoot the cannons now, now. Do it now. You got it?
Yes, Captain. I will most certainly recognize that signal. And he runs off to lead the men to try to slowly ease back the line with the reinforcements so that they can eventually retreat onto the ship.
What about a lively battle song? We're playing a crowd favorite. We've got some bops on this ship. I'm gonna bust out that whistle and give what is the essentially like Sweet Caroline of our group with a 12.
So you start up the melody, and the men cry out "bop, bop, bop" in unison as they strike back at the enemy and then pull back the line and are able to defend each other. And they're banded together under this banner of music and for their captain. So they are not losing men, and they are able to execute this backup maneuver towards the ship. The enemies are drawn into the cannon range.
Can I fire again? 7. I'll take a negative to the damage.
So roll your damage and then roll a d4 and subtract that.
8. 1.
So 7 damage. So you
7.
fire out again, and it catches another man in the throat, and he falls down and dies, and the people around him cheer, yeah, on your allied side as the enemy line gets a little thinner.
Come on, boys. I can't be having all the fun.
So what's the exit strategy here, Captain?
I'm gonna yell, duck and cover to my men, and then hopefully the cannons go well, jump on the schooners and sail out to our ship.
Roll charisma as you call out to your men.
11.
You see all your men squat down and hit the deck.
Fire the cannons now! Do it now, Jeff! Fire the cannons! Do the signals!
He starts frantically swinging the flag. The ship fires bah, 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 from that one broadside, and you hear the cannonballs whiz over your all's heads as they fly past the line, exploding into the sands of the side of this hill of the enemy forces. And it cuts through their lines, throws them into chaos, and they begin to retreat back up the hill, trying to get out of range of your cannons. And your line is left intact and not being attacked.
All men, retreat to the White Springs Revenge.
And the men cheer, yeah, and run back onto the ship. And I assume you guys take up anchor. So your ship is fast, relatively quick, and you flee from the island.
Make course for Whitmore Cove. But first, I'd like to investigate this sword.
I'm super weird about the sword now. Don't want to give it to him.
Come on, Elo, show us what we went through all that trouble for.
I reluctantly hand it over to the captain. Be careful. careful. Like I'm just like handing it to him like it's like a fucking piece of crystal. Well, it is crystal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
so, like-
but it seems really solid.
Yeah, but I'm acting like it's gonna break in any moment.
And he hands it to you, and it is a great sword. It's a very big, broad-bladed thing, and you can see through it, but it's through a thick haze of blue crystal.
I'm gonna see if I read a book about it. 7.
You've heard many tales of singing blades. The one you remember, though, mostly is like a nursery rhyme about a blade that used to sing.
Bring the
Sing
blade
a nursery
close to my face, up to it, and just loud enough that other people can hear, but quiet enough that maybe they won't hear what I'm saying. And I'm just gonna sing, "It's fun to be at the YMCA. It's fun to be at the YMCA."
Nothing happens.
It's just a fancy decor item, and I give it back to Ilo Pilo. Not my style.
I want to sing the same song, but in the ancient language to the sword.
Roll charisma.
A 7.
You notice when you're singing at it in the ancient language, certain tones reverberate through the crystal more, and it'll start to hum on those tones with you for a little bit. But then as you continue singing the song, like that moment passes.
What's the deal with this sword, boy?
Deckard's gonna approach Ilo Pilo, and I'm gonna use my charming and open skill. When I speak frankly with someone, I can ask them a question from below and they answer truthfully. And I ask Ilo Pilo, "Hey, you seem really affected by this item. What is it that you most desire?"
To kill the prince for what he did to my family and find out what happened to my sister. That's all I want to do. And this sword's going to help me do that.
It's a tool to bring you back to your family. Honorable. Good luck, Captain. We are back at Whitmore Cove. Blessings on its name. Do you feel like I have done my service to you?
Well, hold on. We've just got ourselves a fancy piece of metal here. How are we to know it's actually worth something?
Valid. Let's get it appraised.
Mr. Wintercombe, have you ever seen craftsmanship such as this?
Give Mr. Whitcomb an odds or evens.
Odds.
4. So he looks at it and goes, "It looks like it's made of crystal, sir."
Very astute observation, Mr. Wintercombe. I thank ye for your service and your endeavors in keeping these lands in tip-top shape.
Thank you, sir.
Have a raise. And I throw 5 coin at him.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. I'll be sure to buy more mangoes.
Cody, port in a storm. When I return to a civilized settlement that I visited before, you can tell me how it's changed since I've last been here.
You notice that the mango ship is back, and that it is back in the cove, and that's the ship maybe you were hoping to probably leave on. They have brought back with them all sorts of supplies and goods and some more people that want to live on this island. And there's now like a little market like starting to slowly be set up. A ramshackle market, like the guy you bought stuff from before you guys left is setting up, and some new people are in town. And that like money is starting to flow more regularly through this port. And they're starting to load up mangoes.
Oh, more mangoes. My bones are old and I'm getting ready for some rest after that adventure.
Anybody got a new fishing pole for Mr. Bori? 10.
One of the people is like, "I have this +1 fishing pole, which I might be able to let go for the right price."
Name your price for the captain, baron of these lands that you so wish to settle upon.
All right, I'll give you a deal then. How about 3 coin?
You drive yourself a hard bargain, me hearty.
I guarantee that is a disc.
You have yourself a deal. And
Okay,
welcome to Whitmore Cove.
Thank you, Cap. And this person takes your money and gives you a +1 fishing pole.
Thank you, Captain. You're so generous. I would have offered him his life.
Perhaps I have learned on our last journey that intimidation is not always the answer to my problem.
Potato, potato, you know, they say.
Who says? Who's they?
They do. People say. Different people in different places.
Captain, I have not been relieved of my duty, and we had a whole agreement, and I know I didn't get it in writing, and honestly, that's on me, but I'm really hoping that because of the witnesses, you'll honor our agreement.
The agreement was for a weapon that would help us defeat the prince. We do not know if this weapon will help us.
Well, then I beg you, let us take it up in arms If you would like to test it, take it up on me, because I would rather die than live in the perjury of serving people who are not myself. So if you would test the sword, test it on me. And if not, let me go, and I will sing your praises at all the ports in the Northern Isles.
Yeah, let the poor lad go. He's been through enough.
Aye, ye be right. Cut yourself a ride on the mango ship. Take yourselves a bag of mangoes, and you're free to go.
Yes, Captain, and I will recruit for you and send new...
But first,
Sing us a song.
A song, Captain.
'tis your profession, is it not?
It is. I do take requests. Any favorites or dealer's choice?
Oh, dude, we want like a freestyle about the adventure we just went on and us just defeating that giant. Sing about Captain Marshall defeating the Admiral.
Yes,
You gotta
sir.
get that propaganda out there, dude.
Yes, sir. He thinks for a long moment, and he lifts the whistle to his lips, and he starts badly beatboxing into the whistle, which is just really just airy and nasty. and the cannons all flew, and the people all retreated. And Captain Whitmore cannot be defeated.
And that crew starts like bopping to it.
The half giant man, he had to fly.
Oh.
It goes on far too long. You have to stop, Deckard Brodie. It's 5 minutes in. It's not getting better.
That's a good first.
It's different. Sure is.
I'll pare it down. I'll find what works. It's the artist's journey.
You started losing me around verse 17.
Captain, truly though, you're different than the rest. It's been an honor, and also please do not find me. Pretend you don't know me. I'm going to change my hairstyle. I shouldn't have told you that. I've got to go. Here, take this. And he offers up his whistle. I was actually classically trained on the mandolin. I was trying to but that is a sea whistle. You can command your troops with that.
I give it a good hard blow.
Roll charisma.
Blow on that and you'll get all the seamen to come.
Oh my god.
I rolled an 8.
You blow on it, and it is loud and authoritative. And you see a lot of the men jump and look in your direction.
That be the sound of the Whitmore. Know it well, for you shall hear it often. And I blow it again.
And the men jump again.
I'll board the mango ship and make my way around the Isles, spreading the good word port to port.
So you see Deckard get on the mango ship as it leaves port to go sell its wares, and he waves to you and floats off towards the sunset.
Don't forget to subscribe for more Crispy Cast. Like, leave a comment, and stay crispy.